Hello, my absolutely beautiful astrology soulmates. It's me, Stormie Grace, here with your weekly horoscope and a glance at the cosmic sky for the week of October 23rd, where this week is hands down a changeable week because we have got a full moon lunar eclipse reminding you to think like a Taurus. We're in these last moments where you have to say, whatever it is that I have in my life, what can I eat this, right? That is the chant of the Taurus clan. Can I eat this? But when a Taurus is saying, can I eat this? What they're really saying is this a strong enough, sustainable resource to help me endure, persist, and be steady for what's coming ahead of me? So if you are interested in seeing what the cosmic sky has to offer, stick with me because it's all coming up next. All right, my absolutely beautiful soulmates, before we jump into what the cosmic sky has to offer us this week, we are in our last few days of getting registered for the Venus Reset course, which I'm really excited to take with you. 22 days, bringing in Venus in, looking at her in one of her many faces, but invoking her, calling her in to heal this sacred bowl energy, that place where you feel like, how come I'm stuck in relationships? How come I'm not attracting the money that I want? How come, I've been building so much on top of this sacred bowl and pelvic area that I forgot that I'm even allowed to just be beautiful and that is enough, right? So answer that question right there. Have you forgotten that it is okay for you to just be fully, deeply in your beauty? And ladies, if that is you, I would love to spend 22 days with you. The class will come to you every day in your email, so you don't even have to show up. We're going to take it easy. We're going to be easy like Venus. Your job will be simply to receive and then turn it into something beautiful. That's the beautiful thing about feminine energy. Whatever you give it, it will multiply. And I'm going to give you something delicious to help you heal. We'll be doing it together. And then you can take it in your own time and in your own way and multiply that gift into your own space. And I look more than forward to doing that. So click in the description box down below, get signed up. We are going to be kicking off November 22nd. And this is also the last couple weeks of my packages being on sale. So you want to also grab those from the description box down below. It's usually a $700 package. Right now it is on sale for $350. You get 2 60s and 2 30s. We walk through the year, look at your astrology and any goals that you have. That's you and me tucked in together, making it happen with the cosmos. All right, beautiful friends, let's talk about what is going on in this cosmic sky. Now, first and foremost, as we're creeping in and we're pulling up right on Monday, the 23rd here, one of the things that strikes me almost immediately looking at this energy is that we need to say happy birthday to our Scorpio friends. Happy birthday to our Scorpio friends. The sun is in your sign. It is time to Scorpio energy. Now, for all of us, I want to say happy birthday to the Scorpio area of your chart, because once a year you get a full light up of planets that come through in Scorpio season, and it's going to ask you to spend some time in those deep areas of your chart, the deep feelings, the passion, the desire, the where you have obsession, where you need to detox something. So all of us are getting a little bump of energy. Now, as you're starting to experience this next 4 weeks, something to keep in mind is making space to feel the shift of the season, the shift of that space between Libra and now into Scorpio. We were in Libra season and it's like, oh, I want to relate and I'm out here and I'm social, or I've got whatever going on that is in the rebalancing and relating space. But as we come into Scorpio time and Scorpio territory, don't be afraid if you feel like I just need to be a little bit more quiet, or I need to be a little bit more on my own. I need a little bit more time to, be doing research or working on something, whatever it is. If it feels like there's a deeper, more private, more quiet energy that is climbing to the surface, that's totally okay. And that would be something I would tell you at this particular time to absolutely breathe that in. That is Scorpio season. It's about the intimacy and the assets. So at the deepest core of where we see into you, what are you finding out you need to keep because it's still an asset, or what is it that you need to shed? And so it won't matter which area of your chart this happens, just ask that particular question, okay? Now, something else I wanted to share with you is that from Monday to Wednesday, maybe we could push it a little bit to Thursday. Let's say Monday to Thursday. As we see the sun come into the Scorpio terrain, and we've also got Mercury in the Scorpio terrain as well. I did want to share that if you needed to make a financial decision, or you were thinking you wanted to research a financial course of action in some way, these are phenomenal energies for you to do that with, because you're going to have research like kind of at your fingertips. So I would really be taking a fair amount of advantage of that, not to mention that we've also got a conversation happening with Saturn that's also in a water energy. So there's a lot of good energy for making, researching, studying some kind of financial solution if you needed to make something like that. Now, we are also going to see that the sun is in a trine to that Saturn. So let's just separate that and talk about that for a second, because I think that's really a powerful grounding aspect. And the thing that strikes me about it is how much space there is to feel emotionally solid about decisions that you are making. Like you're like, emotionally, from the depths of me, I feel like this is a solid, decision. But it also will help you keep the drama to a minimum, because Saturn, even in Pisces, is not here for all the drama. It's like, no, like a little bit less. You know what I mean? And because you're feeling like, no, I can't take on your drama, I'm not interested in even some of my drama, there's an emotional power and steadiness that comes with that. And that's the beauty of working with a water trine and having Saturn show up in that mix, is it's very steady and very empowering. So take advantage of that, whatever that looks like for you in your particular Monday. Do you for absolutely sure. Okay, as we are going to roll into the vibration of Tuesday, first of all, coming into Tuesday early in the day, we've got a void of course energy. So make sure that you rest, or anything that you're not starting anything new. This is not a great time to do that because you don't have the rush of energy. It's better to finish up things that needed to be taken care of. That's a better energy and a better space to do that. We're still going to see the Sun-Saturn energy playing in this day as well. So this is the difference between, oh my gosh, I need to put this down and just take a break, and feeling like, no, it's okay for me to rest, right? It's a very simple, like mental and emotional switch that comes with that. But I think that it feels honestly very, very good to you. So go ahead and work with that. Now, we're also going to see here that the moon is moving into the energy of Pisces. Oh, I absolutely love this. This is not an incredibly lush day. The moon is just kind of moving around. With the strongest thing we've got going here is the Sun-Saturn energy. So take advantage of it. But it is your once a month opportunity to check in on the Pisces areas. Where do you need to surrender something, right? Where does there need to be a culmination of something where you're like, okay, I can let this go. But the other thing in the Pisces vibration for you on Tuesday is, where are you not allowing yourself to play? We're human beings this go around. So where are you not giving yourself any time to just have a break, go to the fantasy space? Now, some people can do that by, they can daydream, right? When daydreaming is done in its moderation, it's absolutely phenomenal, because humans need a break from everything that we take on. Other people are going to pull out the Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings series, or whatever you're into. But what is your fantasy space that you're allowed to go and create and dream and explore something that is maybe not your tangible reality, with the understanding that there is a boundary you can't cross to thinking that you can live there and stay there, but that you also have to come back. So somewhere in here, I would ask, where is it that you are letting yourself have a little space to play, to dream, and to do things like that? So make sure you make a little bit of space for that here on Tuesday, okay? Okay, when we get to Wednesday, we see the moon in this really delicious conversation with Uranus, who's in Taurus. So we've got this sextile energy of water and earth coming together. And I absolutely love it, because emotionally, if something has felt stuck or felt like you need to innovate, or you need to, make a decision about something, when Uranus gets contacted, Uranus will go, okay, get off the fence, right? So this is a really wonderful emotional energy there. And one of the things that I think about on Wednesday is, if that Pisces energy is showing you a place where you haven't been letting yourself off the hook, or you very much so been letting yourself off the hook, right? The contact with Uranian energy is going to go, okay, right? I'm going to take a different direction here. I have to take a different direction here, because in order for me to progress and get into the future, or to be secure in the future, I have to make a different decision. And this is something that I want to say too, because when we're dealing with Pisces, some of these remnants or these vestiges of guilt or shame can present themselves. And so if it's even a mind game for you, there's some self-pity or there's some shame or some blame going on, Uranus is great for getting the energy unstuck, moving you forward. And you're like, okay, wait, I can move into more harmony. I'm actually allowed to surrender that. I'm not obligated to keep that. I'm not obligated to keep this line of thinking, and I can move into something else. So I feel like Wednesday's a really beautiful day. Now, at a mundane level, because the moon does rule the people, so the moon coming in contact with what's happening for the people, I again wouldn't be surprised at all if we don't get surprising information, or if something doesn't happen that is a surprise in how a public office or a group of people handle something in public, but it can typically under a sextile be something that is very useful and pleasant. So let's all watch for that on Wednesday and see how it plays out in the real mundane scheme of things, okay? When we get into Thursday, we see the moon move into the energy of Aries. So Thursday, Friday, we're experiencing this vibration of our courageous warrior or sacred gardener, however you like to take on that Aries vibration. And it's fiery, it's independent. It's like, I'm going this way, I'm doing this, I'm moving this way. Now we know that the North Node is also traveling through the vibration of Aries. So even at an emotional level, I think that the healing or the perspective that you can really take on is having some emotional healing that comes from stepping forward into your own power, into your own courage, moving forward with your own project or your own way of doing something. And sometimes that is the medicine that we need, is to say, I don't need you to do this for me, right? There are some things I just have to do by myself. There's something I have to take on by myself. And there's an excitement, I think, that can come with that as well, because it's like, wow, look what I'm building. Look what I'm doing. Look where I'm going. Now, to the other side, Aries is a Mars-ruled energy. So if you are restless, irritable, or discontent, it's also a really great day to get really upset, or really something comes along and somebody pushes the right button and you're having an emotional response and you're breathing fire at someone. Because remember, when the moon is in a fire energy, you can tell an emotional response, because it is like you're spewing fire out of your mouth, because it usually comes out and then we can't take it back. So something to keep in mind on that particular day. Again, if you have got the moon in Pisces, the moon in Aries, the moon in Aquarius early in the week, you might be having a lunar return. So make sure you check that out. And if you haven't seen my lunar return video and understand why that could be important, I'll make sure that I put it at the end of this video as well. Okay. Now, Friday as well, we're going to be seeing this dance of Scorpio season being on the table. We've still got the moon in the other Martian kind of energy. So between, honestly, the deep emotion of the Scorpio vibration that we've got going, where the sun is bringing light, heat, life, and vitality, and it's really powerfully emotional, right? And then we've got the moon in this Aries energy that is courageous, but still as powerful as a Martian can be. What we've got here is this dance between the two Martian vibrations, where you may feel like, I need to, want to, something is happening below the surface and I'm getting ready to take an action. So I would again encourage you to be mindful of that. And my spiritual teacher gives me this picture of, something's going on and it's been taking some time. It's been happening for a while. And I have this little spring inside of me, and slowly something happens and a little piece of the spring gets twisted. And then something else happens and a little piece of the spring gets twisted. And then another little piece. And then one day that last little tightening happens before that spring explodes. And I think that this is a configuration in the sky that we definitely want to be paying attention to, because you really want to avoid having any kind of explosions if you can. But if it's been something that has been working for a while, this is kind of the perfect Martian combination for that to be outplayed. However, we're going to get to the 28th, we're going to get to Saturday, and now we're in eclipse territory. And to be clear, all week long and some of last week was colored by eclipse energy, colored by who and what do I need to shed in order for me to have this deep, delicious resource that I can eat off of. It brings me pleasure. It brings me happiness. It brings me sanity. And I think that there's long-term potential here. So this whole week, there is that underlying vibration that is there as well. So as we roll into Saturday and we see a little bit of the void of course moon before the moon does get into the energy of Taurus, we're also going to see that Mars and Mercury are going to hit opposition with Jupiter, okay? So Mars is going to hit that opposition, with Jupiter first. And so, first of all, they're going in two different directions. So Mars and Jupiter, Mars, I'm doing what it is that I'm doing energy, opposing Jupiter, which is I am expanding, and these two are next to each other. It is a massive amount of energy. So we got to pay attention to this, but it can also be the kind of energy that gets indignant, where it's like, well, listen, I know me. I know how it's supposed to be, and you're not making any space to be hearing anything from anyone. So it can be a little self-righteous. It can be a little bit indignant. So that is something that you want to be a bit mindful of. But the other portion of this that I think is going to be very useful with the moon coming in is that you might not be willing to discuss things too much. And that may actually be this beautiful integration of Jupiter and Taurus and Mars and Scorpio, right? Where you're like, no, okay, like from a deep emotional place, what I'm telling you is that on the material plane of life, this is not fulfilling to me. Or vice versa. I've got all of these things in the material plane of life, and I am not fulfilled emotionally in some way. So this can be a really big conversation and change of direction of energies if you will let it be as such, right? But if it's just like, I'm the only one who has any of the answers. I'm the only one who knows the way. That's going to end up being a really, really big problem. Okay. Now, as we continue on through the day, we are going to see the full moon lunar eclipse happening in the energy of Taurus. And this is our last one in the Taurus and Scorpio axes. This is the last one. We've been working on this for a while. The nodes have been traveling through Taurus. So you've been working on this since 2021. And this eclipse is bringing closure. It's bringing culmination to the things that you've been working on in the Taurus area of your chart. So when you look at your chart and you think about that, what is that for you? What is that in your chart that this is working down, this is working on, okay? And I'm really proud of you, whatever it is, because for every single one of us, it has been this question of, first of all, I have to grow. But I have to grow in the way that the people, places, and things that I am choosing to have around me, I'm asking, is this pleasurable? Is this a resource that is sustainable? Is this resource the way that it is sustainable? A good example of that is like, okay, I do have a job, but is this job going to take care of me if something happens to me 5, 10, 15 years down the road? Because if the answer is no, the Taurus areas of your chart have been going, no, that is not consistent. That is not stable. That is not long-term investment for us. Absolutely not. So you may have been feeling some of these blowouts with that particular Taurus vibration since 2021. Now, here's the other part of it that I think this eclipse and over in the next 6 months is going to finish out its work doing is really, truly, Taurus is not the best because it's a fixed earth sign at saying, okay, I surrender. I'm going to let it go and I'm going to change directions. That's not a strong Taurus tendency, right? It's an earth energy. It's built to be fixed and to hold something long term. So the combination of having Uranus, the node, Jupiter, all in Taurus have been the supportive cast and crew of helpers to the Taurus area of your chart to say, listen, just because I've had this here, just because I've believed in this, just because I've worked on this for 20 years, just because I've been with this person, doesn't mean that it is sustainable and the best for me going forward. If the truth is there is no pleasure, there is no joy, there is no long-term sustainability with this particular thing in my life or in the lives of the other people who are affected. And again, I share with you the open perspective that not every eclipse is about blow out your relationships, quit your job. Sometimes it's like how I'm doing this is not sustainable anymore. So I need to tear this down. I need to let this be blown up a little bit so that I can rebuild a structure in a different way that is sustainable for the long haul. Taurus is invested in the long haul of things. So this eclipse, I think, is going to be blowing out just absolutely all of that. Now, this eclipse as well that's just that little piece. This eclipse as well is bringing in the other cast of characters. Mercury, Mars, of course, Jupiter is wrapped up in this as well. So here's what I'll tell you. Looking at this full moon, which is asking us to end something, acknowledge something, or to make a very big adjustment. I think that this one is a very big adjustment. That, remember, words mean things. Words mean things, and words can cause you or they can cause others to initiate an action. So what are you saying? Be clear. What is it that you want? Clarity is kindness and clarity is solution at this time. Because if it's just a massive blowout of words and you're not clear about what it is that you want, or it's the dramatics of how I feel versus what is actually real in a sustainable, intuitive, internal place, you can really find yourself putting words out there that cause action to happen that changes the course of your life. So we need to just be mindful that this can be for the positive and the negative. If it's like, I'm not happy with our sex life, okay, that could initiate, we just need to do it different, as opposed to, I don't want to be married to you. These are two very different statements, right? So please be mindful of that as we're traveling through this eclipse. And again, you'll get to work on that for the next 6 months, okay? All right, as we're gonna get ready to close out the day on Saturday, now we see Mercury coming into that opposition with Jupiter, and the story's getting louder towards the end of the day of the Mercury-Jupiter. Now, Mercury's the small mind, Jupiter's the big mind. So, Jupiter says, I want this big vision, this big plan, I want world peace. And Mercury's like, yeah, okay, how are we going to achieve that? What are the steps? What are the details? How are we going to get there? Okay, so you've got this combination of Mars and Mercury. So my action and my thinking are opposing the big plan, the big idea, the truth that I believe I see. And this is an interesting space just hovering around the eclipse, of course, because again, it's one moment that you can think you are absolutely seeing clearly. And if you haven't had some real reflection on that, it's the one thing you'll say, the one action you take that cannot be the best decision for you. So really just be mindful. But we gather here every week so that we can not only see what's going on in the cosmos, but try to live very consciously within making decisions around it, right? Which I think is an absolutely beautiful thing. Okay. So let's roll ourselves over here into Sunday and wrap up this week. So as we're traveling on Sunday, we're also going to see the moon in a really nice connection with Venus. So we've got the moon traveling through Taurus in connection with its ruling planet. That is really a very pleasurable energy. I would say, enjoy it. And let it be this receiving, receptive salve, right? Let things come to you. Be easy, be beautiful, take it easy, maybe take a nap. This is really, really an enjoyable moon to take on after everything that we're going to be experiencing. So what can you do to bring that Venusian vibration into your life on Sunday? Is it the music that you like and you can sway your body? Is it making a beautiful meal? What is it that is a very just be Venus kind of energy that you can use to bring some happiness, bring bring some salve, bring some harmony into your world and the relationships around you, because that is absolutely going to be a game changer as we roll into this Sunday vibration. All right, my absolutely beautiful friends, I hope you have a gorgeous week. I look forward to seeing you in the programs. I look forward to seeing you in the sessions. I look forward to bringing you more resources to support your astrological journey. And as always, I look forward to seeing you next week as my adventures unfold. I take you with me and we look at the cosmos. All right, you guys, I love you. I'll see you next week. Bye.